ARM sums up their activities as building the future of computing. Though instead of producing computer parts, they design and license the so-called brains or CPUs of computer chips. In other words, creating instruction set architecture, or ISA, which determines how semiconductor chips operate. ARM-based chips are widely used, especially since most all smartphones contain them. They are also found in wearables like smartwatches, as well as drones, IoT devices, data servers, and vehicles, to name a few applications. Such popularity can largely be attributed to ARM prioritizing designs that are low cost and energy efficient. With this in mind, we will outline ARM's position from a technical and market standpoint, exploring the extent of ARM technology, business models and strategies, along with emerging competition and obstacles to growth. To get an idea of just how far-reaching ARM is, here is a short list of some of their big-name customers that includes Advanced Micro Devices, Amazon Web Services, Alphabet Inc., Intel, MediaTek, NVIDIA, Qualcomm, and Samsung. Their main markets include smartphone processors and other chips used in mobile phones, consumer electronics, networking equipment, cloud and data center servers, automotive applications, Internet of Things, IoT, and other embedded computing devices. Since each CPU product can be licensed to multiple companies, ARM achieves economies of scale, so they can charge each licensee a fraction of what it would cost them to internally develop the technology, while minimizing their risk and time to market, resulting in lower costs for companies to have the ability to make a computer chip that benefits from ARM's energy-efficient CPU IP and ecosystem of technology partners. And because every CPU has an ISA, which defines the software instructions that can be executed by the CPU, there is a common language for software developers to use. ARM explains their ISA sets the foundation for a large library of compatible software, because they have a global community of over 15 million software developers familiar with how to program the CPU, enabling chip designers utilizing the ARM CPU to add desired functionality like Wi-Fi connectivity, image processing, and video processing to meet the end goals of designing various devices and applications. This extensive ecosystem of integration, support, and customization grows and sustains adoption of the ARM ISA because software developers write software for ARM-based devices that grants access to the biggest market for their products, and chip designers choose ARM processors because they have the broadest support of software applications. AI and machine learning are also contributing to demand for ARM-based chips. For example, NVIDIA uses them to run generative AI algorithms, while at the same time they make live translation more viable for mobile devices, not to mention the role of AI automotive applications ranging from driver-assistive functions to fully self-driving vehicles. For more on the topic of future vehicle technology, please watch the video on Luminar Technologies. Due to the increased demand for high-performance computing, ARM notes, there is a dilemma of sorts in terms of chip design to address market demands for an optimal balance of performance, efficiency, size, and cost across end markets, since increasing performance can come at the cost of increased power consumption and heat, something that can be especially important when talking about the balance of computing power and energy use in, say, electric vehicles. When looking at the future, ARM has the stated objective to, quote, establish a global standard, end quote, for its technology in the semiconductor industry. In order to achieve this goal, heavy emphasis is placed on expanding the number and range of potential customers, both in terms of entering into license agreements with new customers and increasing the range of new products supplied to existing customers. There will also be a focus on working with vendors of third-party tools and software providers to ensure that their products will operate with ARM's products. ARM's business model works by having customers pay license fees to gain access to ARM designs, so they can then create ARM-based chips. Once a chip has been designed and manufactured with ARM architecture, additional revenue is generated on a per-unit royalty basis or on substantially all chips shipped. Customers can choose from several licensing models based on pricing and level of access to ARM products. These include ARM Total Access, which licenses a portfolio of CPU designs and related technologies to a customer for an annual fee determined at execution of the agreement, with ARM retaining the right to add or remove specific products from the package. The agreement is for a fixed term and may limit the number of concurrent chip designs that may use products from the package. ARM Flexible Access also licenses a portfolio of CPU designs and related technologies to a customer in return for an annual fee determined at execution of the agreement, as well as ARM retaining the right to add or remove specific products from the package. Except unlike an ARM Total Access license, the package of products will not contain the latest ARM products. Though customers are free to experiment with products contained in the ARM Flexible Access package, they must pay a single-use license fee for specific products if they include ARM products in a final chip design, when the final result of a semiconductor chip design is sent for manufacturing. The technology licensing agreements, TLA licenses a single CPU design or other technology design to a customer for a fixed license fee. The license may be limited by terms, such as the number of years during which the licensee is entitled to incorporate ARM products in new chip designs, but licensees typically have the right to manufacture designs perpetually, and/or by number of uses. The Architecture License Agreements, ALA, allow a customer to develop their own customized CPU designs that are compliant with the ARM ISA for a fixed architecture license fee. Licensees will often also license ARM CPU designs to use either as a complementary processor alongside the licensee's ARM-compliant CPU design or in other chips where the licensee's own design is unsuitable, mainly because creation of an optimized CPU is very costly and time-consuming. Royalty fees generate the majority of ARM's revenue from customers who enter into license agreements, whereby ARM receives royalty fees based on the average selling price of the customer's ARM-based chip or a fixed fee per chip. Royalty revenue is mostly influenced by factors such as product life cycles, customers' business performance, market trends, and global supply constraints. ARM explains, no matter the license model, they receive a per-unit royalty fee on substantially every chip shipped, since each chip may ship for many years, and each ARM CPU can be reused in new products as new applications emerge, ultimately contributing to recurring royalty revenue. ARM states how they consider the number of ARM Total Access and ARM Flexible Access licenses as a key performance indicator because they represent the increasing collaboration between ARM and their customers, which could be a leading indicator to more chips being designed with ARM technology, something that can point to more recurring royalty revenue in the future and increased market share. Though the fact that several partners and customers also design, develop, manufacture, and market processors based on non-ARM-based architectures should also be considered in the broader context, as well as companies developing their own physical IP in-house. There's also the possibility customers could choose to develop their own processors based on ARM ISA. On top of that, ARM customers are not contractually obligated to design, manufacture, or sell chips using ARM's products on an exclusive basis or at all. There is also generally no minimum purchase obligation from customers. ARM's partners and customers compete with each other and with ARM in various applications. The level of competition and the nature of the competitor generally varies based on the end market. In this light, ARM's position is relatively secure for markets such as smartphones, mainly because they are deeply established in those kinds of markets, making it difficult for a new architecture to displace the ARM architecture and supporting ecosystem in use. That being said, there's still competition from other architectures, mainly in the form of the legacy of the x86 architecture, as well as from free open-source technologies, namely the Reduced Instruction Set Computing RISC, abbreviated as RISC architecture, as well as certain semiconductor companies that have designed or are in the process of designing their own proprietary architecture for specific markets or applications. In specific regard to RISC architecture, ARM notes many of their customers are also major supporters of the RISC architecture and related technologies, with joint ventures aimed at accelerating the adoption of RISC not unheard of among some ARM customers and other competitors. Additionally, when NVIDIA tried to acquire ARM and the acquisition didn't go through, other companies raised concerns NVIDIA could stop licensing ARM ISA, leading to companies trying to reduce reliance on ARM ISA, with RISC architecture being more attractive. RISC can also potentially gain traction from geopolitical instability, primarily due to such factors as trade disputes, war, sanctions, and political tensions in general. Mainly because countries want to guarantee access to microprocessor ISAs for more self-reliance and less dependence on closed ISAs, a matter of strategic policy that's becoming ever more crucial in the modern world. Though even if the RISC architecture and related technologies don't develop to a level where technical specs are better in terms of performance and energy efficiency, and/or market support for RISC doesn't significantly increase, RISC might still be a preferred choice due to it being accessible. In a way, it's kind of like the old adage, the best camera is the one you have. Except in this case, nations would say something like, the best ISA is the one you have access to, the open source one that is free for everyone to use. In this respect, customers may still choose to utilize this free open source architecture that inherently wins on the cost and accessibility front. Furthermore, ARM is under concentration risk in that upwards of half their total net revenue comes from its top 5 customers, which includes ARM China, that brings around 1/5 of total revenue. ARM China operates independently from ARM acting as a sort of gateway to China, since it is permitted to sublicense to customers in China. It serves as a means for ARM to access the Chinese market by allowing ARM China to sublicense standard IP offerings, non-standard technology, or architectural licenses and develop its own IP under certain conditions and with ARM's consent. And since a large portion of assets and employees are located in the UK and the US, the current US tariffs on China origin goods and the related geopolitical uncertainty between the US and China have caused, and may continue to cause, decreased demand for products that include ARM's technologies. Attention must also be paid to HPC high-performance computing restrictions that apply to processors that meet or exceed performance thresholds under US and UK export control regimes, which require export licenses prior to export and delivery to customers in China, primarily as a matter of national security relating to concerns that higher performance computing technologies can be applied to military uses. To complicate matters further, SoftBank Group beneficially owns approximately 88% of ARM's total issued and outstanding ordinary shares, and is ARM's parent company and the parent company of a number of subsidiaries. Yet ARM China also operates independently of SoftBank. It will be interesting to see how ARM's technological and market position is impacted and influenced by the Chinese market and development of the RISC architecture in the coming years. Now, would you kindly follow Ascencore? Then please stay tuned for more videos coming very soon. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.